One of my favorite segments of the week, one of my favorite guys, Dr. Michael Lutz, president of the Men's Health Foundation of Michigan. Dr. Lutz, how you doing, my friend?
Great to be here. It's a beautiful sunny day.
Little Men's Health Monday action. We've got a great topic for you today as well, Dr. Lutz. There was a Broncos player, and you're going to walk me through this, who went through some test and they found a testicular cancer. What in the world?
So, the NFL doing their due diligence, they screen their guys to make sure they're not doping, so to speak.
Sure.
They're getting testosterone too much. And so one of the blood tests they screen for is HCG, which is human chorionic gonadotropin, which guys can get through, their physicians who need replacement therapy because it will actually help bump up your testosterone. But they serendipitously discovered he had elevated HCG levels, and he wasn't taking anything for that.
So Alex Singleton is the Broncos player through a routine NFL drug test, which, in the NFL is very common. They see an elevated test, which they thought was some sort of replacement therapy. He's not on any. And then the questions arise, well, it could be serious here.
Yeah, and the number one cause for guys to get it who are in their 20s is a testicular cancer that actually triggers the body to release that substance.
Now, this is the same type of cancer, and you were going back on this. Brian Piccolo had a famous movie, Brian's Song. He was 26 years old when he died.
Yeah, so if you go back into the 1970s, if you were diagnosed with testicular cancer, particularly the one that Brian Piccolo got, which is embryonal cell carcinoma, very aggressive, the death rate was incredibly high. But we're living in a great state of Michigan, and thanks to Dr. Rosenberg at Michigan State University, who discovered a drug called cisplatin. They changed the death rate to a survival rate and now a cure rate of over 95%.
Wow. So this was something, a Michigan State doctor.
It's a great story.
Came up with essentially the cure.
It is. And this drug has been used for a number of other malignancies in the human body. But its story for testicular cancer is unbelievable because we can actually tell men who are diagnosed with testicular cancer, you can be cured of this disease.
How rare is testicular cancer or profound is it? I feel like I don't hear a lot of guys talking about this.
Well, first of all, a lot of guys don't like to talk about anything that deals with their genitals. But
sure.
But the other story is that it isn't that common, but it is the most common malignancy for young men in their 20s and 30s.
Wow.
And so, it often presents with a swelling or a painful lump in the testicle. And so those are the things that you need to get attention to. They do grow typically fairly slowly in general, but guys do have a tendency to delay the diagnosis and getting evaluated, particularly in their 20s and 30s for something like this. So it's really important if you feel something abnormal, and you should examine yourself once a month. That's the recommendation for testicular self-examination. If you feel something different, you should get some attention.
Talking to Dr. Michael Lutz. It's a Men's Health Monday here. Dr. Lutz, the president of the Michigan Men's Health Foundation. Dr. Lutz, what is the screening for it? I be honest, I'm just thinking about my own self here. I feel like I've had, my colon checked out, my prostate checked out. All these things that you go boom, 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 boom. I can't remember ever getting tested for anything like this.
Yeah, no, it's not common. But as a young boy, you're typically examined to see if both of your testes have descended or in the scrotum. Mm-hmm. And if one is undescended, that is an increased risk for testicular cancer. For men who present with infertility, that's an increased risk for testicular cancer. If you have a family history of testicular cancer, then you're at increased risk for testicular cancer. So those are some risk factors. The other thing is guys should examine themselves once a month in the shower while they're having a quiet moment, just to examine and make sure that all the parts are in the right places.
What are you looking for at that point, or what are you feeling for essentially?
The testes should be smooth, have the same consistency as the other testicle if you have both. And they shouldn't have any palpable irregularities on the surface or any lumps or bumps.
And again, it is one of those advancements over time that we have seen that this is now a very curable cancer. The survival rate is very high.
It is. And, we're kind of in a battle as a men's health advocacy organization with the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force, because they gave it a D rating for testicular self-examination because they felt that it created too much anxiety for young men. and that it was overdiagnosing masses and lumps in the testes. But the reality is that guys need to be in touch with their bodies. They need to examine themselves and be aware of their bodies and be engaged in their own health and advocacy.
So people were getting false positives, or you talk about the anxiety of it? What was the?
Well, because there are a lot of other things that can
Yeah.
cause lumps and bumps around the testes that aren't malignancy. So it's just a way to get attention to it. But nonetheless, don't be alarmed that you have a malignancy the minute you feel an abnormality, but you should just get it checked out just to be sure that everything's okay.
We talk about, Alex Singleton, the Denver Broncos linebacker, and how fortunate he was that, he plays in the NFL and you're subject to these routine drug tests. And it was this test for him that really caught it. Had he not been a player for the Denver Broncos and he did not get selected to do this random drug test, who knows what would have happened to him? What are some of the symptoms that he may have experienced down the road before anybody ever knew?
Well, it probably would have been a delayed diagnosis. So Lance Armstrong is a very good example of that. He waited quite a while before he actually went ahead and got diagnosed and treated, and he had late stage. He had metastases to his brain and had to have significant treatment for his testicular cancer, and took him out of the sport of cycling for quite a while until he was able to recover.
The recovery rate from that, not only you can survive, but you can thrive afterwards as well. That's correct?
It's the one malignancy as a practicing urologist. If you don't see it within 10 years, you're cured.
Is there a certain type of individual? Does this happen in younger people, in athletes, or is it just totally genetic? And are there any outside causes of this?
Again, it just would be if you have an undescended testicle, that is an increased risk. Family history is another risk. If you're a male who presents with infertility to a urologist, you also have to check. I diagnosed probably a half a dozen men with testicular malignancies who presented with infertility as their primary complaint. But the key thing is that you got to diagnose it, and you got to treat it pretty quickly.
There's no doubt about it. And that's one of the things about doing this segment with you since we started back in July, that really wanted to get a conversation started about some things that maybe kind of went by the wayside for especially men. We kind of put our own health on the back burner, and I think conversations like this, really go a long way in trying to help people get healthy and really knock out some of those unnecessary stigmas of going to the doctor or even really searching for something that could be there, could not be there, but at least you know.
Yeah, we did a campaign called Got Nuts, Check 'em. And we put these
That's
signs,
a good one.
Put them all over the beer trucks in the city of Detroit, and they were going all around. We found out that a lot of people weren't comfortable with that on the back of a beer truck. So I don't think the world is ready for this for prime time yet, but it's got to go.
Well, it is interesting. You got to talk to guys, too, like they talk, right? I mean, and I just think it's important to have that conversation. Dr. Lutz, thank you so much, my friend. What's going on today? Are you, it's nice enough. You could probably bike here and back, right? Are you going for any bike rides today or anything like that?
I am definitely going to go for a bike ride, and I appreciate the call out.
I love it. You got to do something. You can't waste a sunny day like this, Doc.
No, because you count them on one hand.
You got to get out and move. Absolutely. The great Dr. Michael Lutz, president of the Michigan Men's Health Foundation. Dr. Lutz, thanks. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate you, Ryan.
You got it. All right, coming up next, hour number 2, we are going to give those tickets away. We're going to do that at 3:18 for the Magic of Lights Drive.